we're back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is. It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. Another Saturday. Always adjusting stuff when I'm here in the studio. But anyways, you're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowan, host of this crazy show and owner of RTM Roofing, coming at you live from 997 and also from Studio 378. But last week, I had to be out of town, so I don't know which one we sent in, but you've got to hear one. So anyhow, I had to go pick up Miss Sarah and Roland. Had to go get some stuff from her. She's now officially going to be a junior in college, and the time goes by quicker than you can imagine for all the ones of you out there with the little ones. They get big quick and then they're gone. But this week I've got somebody in the studio again. We had Back the Strip last week with Chris Terry. They raised a lot of money for the blessing and what they do in Warren County, and you can donate to them year round. I mean, they accept donations all the time for what they do in Warren County to the families that. Well, you heard about it all last week, and I'm gonna do a rerun on that show here, probably in a few months, so that way I can bring it back up and bring the awareness up. But big shout out to Chris and Mary and everybody that was a part of that down there. It was an amazing thing they've done, and with the rain that came through, and I didn't think many people were going to be there, be out. Oh, it was like 1988, I guess. I'll go back to 80s. It's 1988, and people just lined up on the strip. But anyway, so what are we going to talk about today, I guess? Well, I've got a guest though, and I'm going to introduce right here in a second, but I need to bring up, last week there was a big hailstorm that came through, and there's, weather all the time, but there was some inch and a half hail that came through. Well, let's see where it came through. Ashland City, came through North Nashville, west of 65 right there, Moore's Lane, anywhere. If you're in Williams County, if you're in Davidson County, I'm trying to remember where Ashland City's in, and my guests will know. But nevertheless, that county, anywhere in the mid-state right here, that we've had some storms through, and it's time for your annual inspection. And remember, if for whatever reason you do not have storm damage, but you do have issues, RTM Roofing this year is giving 15% off all retail jobs. If you have to pay out of pocket because you didn't get the storm, and you've got an old roof that's just shot or needs some repairs, well, we're giving 10% off to everyone to start with. And then if you're a first responder, military, active, retired, Gold Star family, or anyone over 62, you get 15% off. You get an additional 5%. So that's retail only. We can't do that for insurance. But if you're having to pay out of pocket, we can help save you some money. So I wanted to get that out of the way, but pretty much all over the mid-state, it's that time, from all the weather. Call RTM Roofing, 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com, which by the time, if you go to it today, it should be live. If not, then they've almost got it, because I reviewed it the other day and it looks amazing. But let's see, what else am I got here written down? Sarah and a junior this year coming up now, and they did win the national championship D1 Elite Rugby. Wow. They did win it. And so, yeah, it was crazy. But anyways, let's get to who's here. We've got a returning guest. This is like the most time I've seen this guy in 5 years, and it's Brandon Mitchell.
How you doing, Chad?
What are you doing, big man?
Oh, nothing. It's good to be here. I stepped back into your life because we had a grandbaby, and my wife is. I tell everybody my wife has left me for a younger woman.
Is that what it is? Oh, so okay. So you're not with her, so you got to come and go somewhere and hang out.
I need something to do, and I enjoy coming to talk to you, and I enjoy this whole kind of thing. I had my high school job was on the radio, and so I just kind of miss doing this kind of thing and just talking.
One of these days when I'm out of RTM Roofing or whatever, and maybe not even on this show, I'll still be sitting right in this room doing this, just recording stuff and putting it on YouTube, having fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a long time coming, but nevertheless, or long time away most likely. But my point is, no, it's fun. I mean,
yeah, it's a good time. Just and it's good to see you. Yeah,
that too. I was just talking about being the radio stuff. Once you do it, or not even just radio. Once you play music, or get the music bug. It's you're an addict.
I'm an addicted watcher. I would like to be backstage doing it. I can't play an instrument, but I love music and I love I've always liked behind the scenes stuff. Find it intriguing.
We were talking about off the air, the new stuff, the way I've rearranged now here, and I need to turn that up a little bit. I always have to adjust. That's a live show right there. You see what I mean? There's always adjustments going on in behind the scenes that you don't know.
You've got a lot of equipment here to manage. This is like a lot of cats.
I need a Jamie. I've got to go to MTSU and get the intern.
You need an intern.
I mean, it's real life work, and it's there's valuable information here. I've learned how to edit the shows. We're doing YouTube. We're filming now as well, or recording. As I always say, I always joke. Kim tells me there's no film in the camera. I'm like, yes, there is. But my point is that we're doing that before you can go to a standard conversation on YouTube or search RTM Roofing, and you'll pop all that up. And we're already doing the show, so might as well get the other data.
Absolutely.
Right? Other formats, I guess I would say. Right. But what's been happening since the last few weeks that we've I got a lot of compliments on your show, by the way, last time. A lot of people compliment on that.
Good. I've been I have a break in work waiting for some cabinets to come in for a kitchen I'm going to start, and we have a wedding at my house, and so I'm working for free at my house.
Well, that's 24/7 anyways, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But when's the wedding?
It's going to be this weekend, like tonight.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
No, that's all good.
Yeah.
Well, most people don't know you're also an ordained minister. Is that what they call? What do they call it?
Yeah, that's really. Yeah. All right. So I think I can't remember how it happened, but no, I'm not an ordained. I'm ordained by the internet, so it's legal, but I'm not through any church or anything.
Okay.
And it happened. Some friends of mine asked me to do this, and then. Not long after that, I actually married you.
I was going to say.
And your wife.
Yeah.
And then,
were we number two?
You were number two.
Oh, we were number two.
Yeah. So you would have the runner-up banner across your chest if this was a pageant. And then it just kind of, it's not something I do all the time. It's just people, basically not people ask me, my wife volunteers me for stuff and says, hey, Brandon's a preacher. And
my wife still cracks up on perma buddies, just so you know.
Yeah, right. She did love that. Yeah,
and she loved it. Oh yeah, it was great. No, it was great. It was.
Yeah.
So what? We've had a lot of hail. Did you have any damage out your way?
Not that I was home to see. No,
right.
And I didn't notice any. And I don't really. I live in a valley between kind of two mountains. I live in a mountainous. No, I live in kind of a mountainous area, so I'm down in a really sharp, like almost what I'd call a crag.
Yeah.
And so I don't worry about tornadoes. I don't worry about a lot of stuff.
Trees are about your worst thing to worry about.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, like you can look around my house in any direction, and there's like 60 and 70 foot tall trees, and you look around in other places, and there's trees on the ground in the woods, and you're like, it's just a matter of time.
It's the odds. And the odds may never be in your favor.
Yeah, hopefully the breeze is blowing on that day.
But you have a metal roof, correct?
I do.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a metal
Didn't
roof.
we, last time we talked, didn't Dwayne hook you up with somebody, end up getting it coated for you?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because now you guys are doing the very same coating.
Yeah.
This was just,
it's a different brand.
But same technique. And my house was custom built by a guy who had fantastic vision, but not really a great amount of construction skill. And so he did some very cool stuff, but the execution was poor in some areas, and I've had to build it up. But the house is just so kind of cool that you tolerate it. Like if I was in a subdivision, I would not tolerate but anyway, when it got time to, I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to have to replace this roof because it's a metal roof and it's old enough that my washers are starting to go, and I was noticing some leaks.
Yeah.
But when you sit and look at the roof, you can see the metal rolling because he rough milled all this lumber, so it bows. And as I got in there and looked at it, I'm like, I had a quote from this one guy who did it, who did the neighbors, and he said it was going to be X number of dollars. And I'm like, yeah, what's going to happen is he's going to take this roof off and then go, we're going to need to deck it.
Yeah, you overlay it.
To do so. So this is not going to be this price. And I was just like, what I need to do is just go over the top of this metal and do that. Cause,
they're good.
And is a game changer for me. I mean, like it really
saved you money.
Yeah, and it same outcome
and extend the life. Yeah. No, and that's exactly right. When you says bows, a lot of people don't realize that their rafters, they've got, the house settles, and whenever they pop a line and put the rafters up, it's not to a 16,000th of an inch, and all of that.
No, it's like it'd be off a quarter inch
easily
if it's crowned.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're not going to cherry pick the lumber when they're out there trying to bang a house out.
Some stick frames are already stick framed, and they're putting, putting the rafters up, all built
trusses,
together. There you go.
Then that's a different story.
That's what I meant.
But if it's being stick framed, that's impossible. And I mean, that's unrealistic.
But
expectation.
It's funny when I go out on inspections, I'll notice it, of course, right? I see
I would.
You would too, but a lot of people don't really notice it because they've not looked at their roof in 15 years. They've not even looked at the roof, ever hardly, except the first day, right, when they moved in. Well,
and some of those, like if the house is on a slopey kind of lot and it's a big two-story and it's got the dormers, they've probably never seen certain parts of the roof.
100%. But what's funny is we'll do a roof, right? We'll replace the roof. Like I said, everybody sees the first scratch on the new car. They don't see the second, right? This is brand new, so they're looking over like a fine-tooth comb, and they hadn't looked at the roof like a fine-tooth comb since the day they bought it.
Right.
And they'll go, look, they got a rat. What's that wavy? And I'm like, oh, no, here's a picture before. But what I like to do is walk the client around before, like if we're going to replace the roof. Let's walk around and look at your roof. Let me point out the imperfections structurally. That's just aesthetic. It's structurally sound. But yes, there's a waviness there. And sometimes when you replace a roof, it'll exacerbate that, or it might help cover it. It all depends on the angle, the sun. I mean, you can look at your roof one moment, it looks beautiful in the sun. You look at it in the afternoon, and it looks like Frankenstein. You see the decking popping, reflecting out, or whatever they call it. Oh, there's another big word I had, and I lost it. But anyway, we're sitting here with Brandon Mitchell, extraordinaire, and back on, we're going to talk a little bit of inspections and what to expect. So come on back. You're listening to Renovation Nation. See you. Welcome to RTM Roofing Commercial Division. Not only do we do replacements, we also do commercial repairs, budgeting for you. And when times like this happen and you need to stop the water, you can't just change a panel. You roll over it. With RTM and Everest Roofing Systems. Their products are beyond any that I've ever worked with. And at RTM Roofing, we only use the best. And it doesn't cost as much as the rest. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751. Well, stick around because here comes another great segment. And we're back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is? It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. I got to give a big shout out to Justin Sheffield up there in St. Charles, Missouri. I was saying something when I was picking up Saren. He lives up there in St. Charles where Saren was going to school at Lindenwood, and I went to school with him in 07 to 09 there at MTSU. He was a little younger than me. I went back older. But my point is we were talking and talking about the show because he'll go watch it on YouTube and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden he goes, I said, I got to start a new line. He goes, you know what time it is? I said, what? I said, that's the line I'm thinking about changing. He goes, you can't change that. And I'm like, and it's funny because he's right. I'm sick of it. But some people listen to stuff, and that's their, everybody's got their little oddity they like, right?
Right.
But anyway, sitting here with Brandon Mitchell. You are listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Sitting here with Brandon Mitchell. And San Brand Handyman, or is it San Brand Renovations?
No, it's basically just all dissolved into Brandon Mitchell.
You just BM.
Yeah,
we're not
Brandon.
BS, we're BM.
Yeah, I'm just Brandon. I mean, like, literally.
There's your tagline. I'm just Brandon.
Yeah. Because when I first started out, I wasted a bunch of time. For me, just like, what's my logo going to be? And what's my blah, blah, blah.
We're not BS, we're BM.
Yeah, right. And then as it's got, the thing, thank the Lord, like there's been work there. And as it progresses over the years, my work is 100% referrals. Like I don't do any advertising, and I always got a queue, and I'm not as good at all this as you are with the technical stuff, and I probably need a assistant too, but like that can do all the digital stuff.
Actually, you've been doing it long enough, and you do bathrooms, certain kind of remodels.
No, I meant like the digital marketing.
I do too, but I'm saying, but what you do for people that just now that didn't hear you on a few weeks back, that you do bathrooms, you do kitchens, interior remodeling. Would you call that
anything that's inside of a house, inside of the structure? I'm qualified to do.
Yeah, to change, knock a wall down, put LVL in if you had to. I'm not going
to put an addition on your home.
Right.
I know how to do it. It basically comes down to you need a team of monkeys to be able to pull something like that off. And I've got it to where the things permits. I do, it's just me. No, it has nothing to do with permitting. I just figured all the legwork. No, you as a homeowner can pull permits and stuff like that. That's not, I meant like, I'm not a contractor that's going to have a framing company.
Oh, right. You don't have employees and all of that.
I'm the kind of person that's going to come in and go, oh, you want to make your kitchen look phenomenal, or you want me to read it? Now, I'm certified and I'm good, and I know what I'm doing in all those areas of your home, but I don't build onto your home.
Yeah, and you're licensed, bonded, insured, and all that. I mean, we're just the same insurance company, so I know you.
And I can't, I do... and I also do trim carpentry and all that. So
you do a lot of different things.
I do all my stuff. Like when people ask me, well, how many people are going to be in here? And I'm like, it's going to be me.
Well, if it were me, it's me and my brother Bob and me and my other brother Bob, and I'm Bob.
The plumber and electrician will pop in, for maybe a day or two.
Yeah, because you got to have some stuff if you are removing stuff and stuff like that.
I'm not touching your I can. My dad was an electrician. I know how to plumb, and I would plumb my own house. But I'm not going to come running over there if I flooded your house. That's outside my wheelhouse. Yeah. And
you stay in your lane.
Yeah.
So you're exactly like I am. That's what we do. We stick to our lanes. If we don't do it, I know people that do. I don't do bathrooms. I probably could. I can figure it out. I mean,
now if I'm giving you a price on a bathroom or a kitchen or whatever, I'm including those people.
Yeah.
I mean, like, let's say
subcontractors, or you pay them directly.
No, I let the homeowners deal with them. That's what contracts with them. It just keeps everything neater and cleaner, and I manage the whole project. If I wasn't swinging a hammer, I'd be almost what you'd call a consultant.
Yeah.
But I actually do the work. I install the cabinets, and I'm certified in that. I'm certified on tile products. And
so what's your number? What's your number? If somebody needs something like that, we're talking about, what's your number?
615-456-5166.
615-456-5166. 456-5166. Brandon Mitchell. Just BM.
Yep. Yeah.
No BS.
Yeah, it's just Brandon. I mean, like, literally, I got
your tagline. I'm going to make some stuff digitally now for you.
Yeah.
Just BM.
I had a good one for a plumbing company one time. It was like a full... a flush beats a full house or something.
That's pretty good. Oh, it does. A flush does beat a full house. Yeah.
Like
a royal flush is even good. Yeah.
You the toilet with flush, not back up in your house.
I've seen some other plumbers that probably should change their name, but they're funny. They're funny, but it's like, well, we're on radio and I can't even mention it.
I like it when the septic tank companies go, we haul milk on the weekends. They always have like rando crap.
It's good.
It's good stuff.
But no, so yeah, you're doing your models. Got a wedding coming up tonight, actually, and but you had the storm come through. Why haven't you called me for a roof inspection? At least to check it out, but I know the coatings, and it's maybe under warranty.
Because I just had the roof redone.
How long ago? I can't remember.
It was about 7-8 months ago, probably last summer.
Okay.
And it's like a 30-year warranty on it.
Yeah. Well, I can give you a 30-year. Well, let me ask you a question. What's the difference between a warranty and a guarantee?
I don't know.
A warranty is an expectation of time. This product should last 5 years, like a shingle, limited lifetime. You hear 50 years, 30 years, limited lifetime warranties. What's limited lifetime? It could be a second, could be 100 years, could be a million years. Who knows? Anything could be a lifetime, right down to the second.
Right.
A guarantee is like the old Sears and Roebuck Craftsman's Tools. They had a 99-year guarantee. That means if you broke it in year 99, You went and handed it to them, and they gave you another. There's no ifs,
Right.
ands, buts. That's a guarantee. A warranty can have exclusions, and not everything is as perfect as you think a guarantee is.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So what I will tell you is, 30-year warranty, of course, but you've got a 100,000-mile warranty on your vehicle if you bought it new.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't change your oil in 50,000 miles and it blows up, they're not covering it.
Right.
So maintenance, number one, you're 7 months in, 8 months. Yeah, you're not technically ready unless a storm has come through, right? That's what I tell people. But annual inspections. And every year, just like you get your AC looked at and everything else, you go to the doctor, get your roof looked at. It's complimentary from RTM.
Gotcha.
It's not free. It's not free.
It's just like
Yeah.
it's like one of those things where you got enough things going on in life. Do I really want you to get up on the roof and show me something that's going to end up costing me money or eat at me because I'm?
Because you don't want to spend money on the roof.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, right. What's? Let me ask you a question, if you can let it be known. But what's
Sure.
the value of the most important thing under that roof?
Well,
Minus life. Let's not talk about people, but let's talk something tangible. Because some people don't like people; they like something tangible.
yeah, I don't really have anything.
So if your house
like
burned up,
that.
you wouldn't need
Well,
anything.
I mean,
You wouldn't
we
care. You wouldn't even get insurance.
Actually, the location is most important to me. Like I love the
Okay,
house.
but if the house burnt tomorrow,
Yeah.
now pray it never
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
but if
yeah.
it did,
Uh-huh.
there's nothing in there that you would never want back.
Oh, that's untrue. We know
Okay, so
that,
what's the
but-
value of that?
Well, Lord, priceless or.
So why don't you get your roof looked at? Because without a roof, that is gone, and might as well be a fire.
Right,
Might as well be
yeah.
a tornado. Carry it to Kansas.
Yeah,
That's what I try to explain to people. I don't like checking my roof. Meaning, I pull home after looking at roofs all day. It's like anybody does
Right.
what they do. Last thing I want to do is work on my car if I'm a mechanic. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do, and I've caught stuff I've told people before, just like the caulking. Caulking. As simple as, and I did my own caulking on my house when we did the roof in February of 2020.
Okay.
And I came and inspected it in 2021, and some of the caulking was pulling away. Now, was it installed wrong? No.
Right.
I did it. It was in. It was there. Did stuff move? Yes. But here's my point. If I didn't do it that year, in 21, and waited to like now, the odds, they're there. They're not super high, but they're definitely not zero, that I would already possibly be having water entry into my home from the caulk being pulled away from what it was covering. It's getting into the system. We'll know that. But I won't know where exactly it's going. Maybe it's filtering out like normal, like it should. If something gets in, things are built to filter water out.
Now, isn't that built into the roof warranty?
No.
Why?
Well, let me rewind.
Well, there's a roof system.
The way you get a complete caulking warranty with RTM Roofing is calling back each year. Or you can purchase a 5-year caulk warranty. But I will start with a 3-year, but you're going to call me back each year. If you don't, I can't guarantee it. See what I mean?
Yep.
That is a warranty. An expectation of time, it's supposed to last 5 years, at least, before you touch it up.
Yeah.
Something like that. Mine lasted 1, and it wasn't nothing but caulk. It was expansion, contraction, and there we were. Well, we're going to come on back. You're listening to Renovation Nation. See you in 3. Welcome to RTM Roofing Commercial Division. Not only do we do replacements, we also do commercial repairs. Budgeting for you. And when times like this happen, and you need to stop the water, you can't just change a panel. You roll over it. With RTM and Everest Roofing Systems. Their products are beyond any that I've ever worked with. And at RTM Roofing, we only use the best. And it doesn't cost as much as the rest. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751. Well, stick around, because here comes another great segment. And we're back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is? It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. Sitting here today with Mr. Brandon Mitchell, just BM. I won't do the other tagline. I don't think he likes it, but I love it though.
Yeah,
it cracks me up.
I know.
But
Because
there is no BS with you. You're straight up, just straight out of the box. You are who you are.
I kinda am.
And you're not rude. You just, I'm not
like
saying
how you have to couch. I'm not rude. My wife says the same thing.
Well, I'm just saying, I would have anything you ever tell me, unless I know you're slightly joking. I have no reason to disbelieve. And I've known you long enough to know that, right?
That. Yeah.
But like people don't know me, don't know you.
Right.
Sometimes we sound too polished or too much of a salesman, and we're not. We're just giving information that we know is fact to be true, right?
And that's really what you're doing. I mean, I get it. We should be doing the roof inspections. Let's jump back into that caulk thing. This is an interesting point, and ask how you deal with that as far as putting in stuff. You're putting in a 30 or 50 year product is what they're saying, which is all the homeowner hears. I won't have to touch this to 2055. But that's just the roofing product.
Yeah, the shingle.
What people don't realize is that the problems,
it's not always
water's
a shingle.
not coming through the shingle.
Unless there's a hole in it.
Right.
Unless there's a hole in it. Or it's missing.
But it's the holes in the attaching it. It's the holes where your plumbing's coming out, and it's in the caulking. How do you how do you deal with that when all the components are designed to fail prior to the roofing? Like, why is that a thing in the roofing industry? Why don't they step up and make I know there's no such thing as a 70-year caulk.
I can repeat the question. Right. No, there's a 30-year caulk. It'll be there in 30 years, but your house will have moved. No, it will be there. It'll be where your window was, and your window shrunk, and now it pulled away.
Yeah, it's not going to.
So when you get to caulking, you get to all the accessories. It goes to, I always say at RTM Roofing, we do complete roofing systems. It is a system, right?
There's a system. It includes the 30-year warranty shingle and the
Jamie Oldham, before you even get to the warranty, we're talking like a car. There's a system of car. You got tires, you got transmission, you got frame, and it's all got to be syncopated and locked together and in order.
Yeah.
Jamie Oldham will tell you a lot of times, he will always tell you, a building's designed to take water in. But if you've installed it 1, 2, 3, 4 like you're supposed to, it'll filter it back outward.
Right.
But it's when things happen, it's the devil's in the details is what I'm getting at. It's when you do step 2 or before step 1 or step 3 before step 2 and then do, the one opposite and then carry on outward. You've just did something where if water gets in, it's going to stay in.
Right.
Now, there's ways water fall in. So to go back to caulking and the accessories, it's all about RTM Roofing does complete roofing systems. There's nothing you can upgrade on our system other than the shingle. If you want a true 50, you said 30-year and 50-year. There's no 30 and 50-year shingle in my world. There is in the designer, like the IKO Armor Shake. It's a class 4. It will be a 50-year shingle. Right. I'll call it. They may only still say 30, but I'm telling 50 because it's a triple laminate. It's 3 shingles to 1, if you will. Yeah. Certainty's Grand Manor. Pat Walsh has one that's probably 28 years old now. We've changed out some ridge cap because it took the brunt with the shingles. Oh, they're a little weathered like a car, 100,000 miles on it or 150, but he's maintained it, and it was built like a tank.
Right.
It was a $300,000 car, not a $30,000 car, right? And it is. You'll pay more for it because you're paying for more products, what it is. So can they make it last 50 years? 100% they can. Will you pay for it?
No.
Okay, difference going from a $15,000 roof to maybe a $30,000 to $50,000 roof, right? But again, you've basically bought 3 times the amount of roof.
Right. Sure. And
protection and longevity. So you've prorated your own self. So because you come here in 25 more years or 20 years and your shingle's dead, what's the price that roof's going to be then?
Right.
It ain't going to be 30 grand. It's going to be like 80.
Right. In my experience, I think roofing is a lot like tile work. Okay.
I'll go with it. No, I'm with you.
Because there's a lot of components that go into doing a roof properly.
The tile's not going to leak itself unless there's a hole in it.
Yeah, the tile is waterproof.
Yeah, right. Right.
All the stuff behind the tile is the tile job.
Yes.
Yes, you should be able to lay tile flat and with a good line.
And square.
That's okay.
You can't do that. You don't need to be here to start.
But you can have somebody who's literally mortaring it and throwing the tile against the wall and leave it and go, woo, if they did a good job on the dent, you're still going to shower in it forever and it's not going to leak. So, I'll see people who come in and go out where I live because it's a poorer area, and you'll see a roof, and then you'll see dudes shingling right over the top of the old shingles.
We don't do overlay.
No, listen, because they've told them, hey, it's cheaper. Yes, it is.
$500 cheaper. Yeah, out of $15,000, $500
that they didn't have to tear it off.
It's just labor.
But you don't. what the homeowner doesn't understand, and what they're not telling them, and what they may not understand, is that the tar strip on the other thing is supposed to melt and bond to that shingle.
Well, here's what they really don't understand, though.
To the decking. And
that's true. Because it's designed to shingle on top of the shingle.
There's a glue underneath the bottom that's supposed to adhere to the roof.
And it's spaced. It shouldn't be a solid thing because they're called rain channels. Where if water gets in, they can still go out. Yeah. But here's your kick on 2 layers. 2 layers is legal. It's by code. You're allowed up 2 layers for our snow load down here. It's all about weight and what the home's built of. It's engineering stuff. Yeah. I'll never put 2 layers on a home. And the reason why is you just cut the life of your new roof in half because it smothered it. Your shingles, your decking, all that breathes. Yeah, it's microscopic, but it does breathe, right? It's all about temperature. That's what kills your roof. The biggest. Weather, of course, but it's that 180-degree sun bake, and it's asphalt. It's got granules on top to protect the asphalt and give you color. That's what I say. Other than that, it's your road out there. It's going to crack. It's going to turn gray. But it also, the road doesn't absorb water, if it's been done properly. So to go back to the 2 layers is you literally, I used to tell people it's $500 off and there's no warranty.
Right.
You want me to do that?
Right.
Is it really worth $500 on $15,000, $20,000? You just want to save $500 for that? Because number one, what am I nailing into?
Right.
If the roof's bad enough to be replaced that old and we're going to overlay it, you've got decking damage somewhere.
And I'll just say this, if you have, we're not going to badmouth people.
I'll never do that.
I hate when people come in. I try my best, even if the person in front of me did a crappy job, I don't report that to the homeowner. I don't know why people love to do that. I think it's to build their own reputation.
Makes them feel better, but it makes them look worse, though.
And I'm just like, I'm not going to trash the guy before me because we're fixing it. Let's just get through this and all that. But, I don't know why I've even said that.
I was still going back to the 2 layers, and some people do certain work.
Okay,
and by the way,
if somebody has come to your house and said, I will put a second layer of shingles on, do not use them because, in my opinion, they're giving you a sorrier product.
Well,
over the long run.
Oh, 100%.
Because there'll be people who beat me out on showers and bathrooms, and they'll tell me what they're doing, and I'm like,
they didn't do
thumbs up to you.
They didn't do water back. They didn't do they didn't do whatever else
and it's nothing I can do about. All I can do is warn somebody and just go, I'm going to be a little bit more expensive.
What's the same?
It's going to be here, and when you tear it out, those guys are going to have to fight to tear it out, and it's still going to be waterproof.
Here's what I would tell everybody. Get multiple estimates on anything you do.
Sure.
Now, if you've used somebody over and over and over, of course you know what they do. You know their record. I mean, you can check them. You don't get another estimate. But same point in time, you're paying for service. Yeah. That's really what you pay for. Because, the products, if the guys are doing it right, which, you know what I mean, it's not rocket science. It is a little bit in some areas. Yeah. But it's just follow 1 through 10.
Yeah, it's
follow steps 1 through 10, and if you've been doing it long enough, it's not rocket science. But when something fails, and it will fail at some point, right? Eventually, there will be a failure.
That's really the key. When it fails, you need to be able to go. How did it fail?
Well, that's for the company that did it or didn't do it. To come out and look. But my point is, how many times you got to call them or find them to get out and see if it's their issue, the roof issue, or maybe your window's got caulking missing now and it's rolling down the wall right there.
But if you've put a layer of shingles on top of a second layer,
where's it going? It's Plinko. It's worse than the game Plinko on Process Right.
You've added so many variables.
I've seen it. Well, I've seen it travel uphill. I've seen it travel 55, 65 feet horizontally before it goes in somewhere. And when you got 2 layers, and especially if you have a metal roof,
that's the hardest for I think a homeowner to believe that the water will travel
upwards and sideways.
Isn't it nuts?
Yeah, it's because it gets hot and it turns into like vapor, and then it can go that direction. Then it gets the coldest spot, which is the crack or the nail gap that goes into your decking. It's colder in your attic than it is on the roof. Yeah, it's 120 in your attic, but it's 170 on the roof.
I've got a story about that vapor stuff. Okay, so literally a few years ago, I was doing a kitchen, and the flooring company came in and took the floor out. I was like, this floor is rotted. It's right under a window. There's an air conditioning vent right there. So in your mind, you're going
2 or 3.
It's
I'm thinking AC or window first.
Well, no, the window, the window has leaked because it's
you can see it. Yeah.
Turns out it was not. Turns out that the air conditioning vent that was plugged right there and they had a foundation vent right beside it, and it makes a cloud in there. Did you know that?
No, it's called rain and humidity, just like when there's a fog this week. That's exactly what it is. The air can only support so much in certain states.
And I fell through the floor, stepped on it, went poof, and fell on it, was sitting on the ground.
Most people's are their air conditioners. I mean, not air conditioners, their refrigerators, ice line, the water line of the ice thing that drips over 20 years and the whole floor falls. But no one looks behind the refrigerator. No one gets to. Actually, you can get your appliances inspected.
Yeah.
Brian Wagner. Yeah. I can't think of it. I know what's up, B. But he comes out and does services. We have him out on ours. Yeah, I can clean my dryer, but can I? Am I going to lift it up, take the bottom off, vacuum everything out that's been collecting there for 15 years?
Yeah.
And you leave it with it running?
Yeah.
And it's just it's the odds of you're not coming home to a burnt down house.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with their roof. But see, they get something out of their air conditioner, out of their washer, dryer, dishwasher. They're getting a useful out of it.
And your shirts are dry.
But they do not, most people don't understand the concept of just sitting like we are right now with no rain hitting us is a blessing.
Absolutely.
Because that's number one. Everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So why haven't you gotten it, or why haven't you started scheduling within the next 3 months someone to come out and look at your roof? And we'll talk more about that when we get back. But if you need to call RTM Roofing, because it is that time, 615-500-0751, 500-0751. And I'll give you BMs over here, number when we get back. But you're listening to Renovation Nation, sitting here with Brandon Mitchell. It's coming at you live. Welcome to RTM Roofing Commercial Division. Not only do we do replacements, we also do commercial repairs. Budgeting for you. And when times like this happen, and you need to stop the water, you can't just change a panel. You roll over it with RTM and Everest Roofing Systems. Their products are beyond any that I've ever worked with. And at RTM Roofing, we only use the best. And it doesn't cost as much as the rest. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751. Well, stick around, because here comes another great segment. And we're back. As I take a sip of coffee. No Sundrop, coffee water, and adult beverage. That's about all that goes on. But not today, it's just coffee. Coffee and Renovation Nation coming at you live from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, owner of RTM Roofing, host of this crazy show. And, I want to bring back up that, we're offering all this year, any retail jobs, 15% off if you're a first responder. If you're military, active, retired, Gold Star family, 15% off all retail jobs. If you're over 62 and over, 15% off all retail jobs. Insurance excluded. There's reasons for that, as I always say, and we'll tell you in person. It's too long to go through all the red tape. But with all the hail that's came through over the last, a week ago Friday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday, the 8th, I think it was. Yeah, no, I've got Hail Recon here looking at. The 8th, there were storms all through Ashland City, north of Fayetteville. I mean, I can just sit there. I mean, I got a map that shows me to the street of everybody that's got hit, in Alexandria, Franklin. Like I said, Ashland City, the Big Sandy up there got Big Sandy.
Yeah. I'm from Camden.
Yeah, well,
Big Sandy is just
brand sand handyman. Didn't your wife name Sandy?
His name's Sandy.
That's what. Big Sandy. Yeah. No, not Big. Yeah. Hang on, let me rewind that. Let me stop. Hang on.
She'll come slap you.
The mouth. Doesn't work as quick. But anyway, not Big Sandy. She's awesome.
There's been
she's
a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's a lot sweeter than I deserve.
You married. Yeah, I don't know how you did that.
I know it's so weird. Yeah. I don't have a clue. She's like went slumming. And then got stuck.
Well, what is the when people get kidnapped and they start liking their kidnappers? Something effect.
Yeah, it's a city's name.
Yep. But anyways, she's been indoctrinated. She's been brainwashed a little bit.
Stockholm
syndrome. That's exactly right. Well, anyways, you're listening to Renovation Nation, sitting here with Brandon Mitchell. And by the way, if you've been listening today, you can also, if you haven't been listening today, you can also go back and listen again tonight, or not go back, listen tonight from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., or go to YouTube and search a Standard Conversation or RTM Roofing, and it'll lead you to us, because we also film this and put this up and podcast form. It normally starts about halfway during the show here starts, by the time it starts getting out, or whatever. But you can find all of our past shows there and catch it anytime you want. If you don't have the app on the go. But nevertheless, sitting here with Brandon Mitchell, and if you need to reach him, he does bathroom, anything on the inside of the house when it comes to remodeling. Nothing exterior.
Not handyman services.
Right. Yeah, like bathrooms, kitchens, you're going to change a room, put a wall up, whatever.
Yep.
Call Brandon Mitchell at 615-456-5166. 615-456-5166. And again, go check out YouTube if you missed that or couldn't write it down. I'll probably pop the number up on this one, or have Jamie. I don't have a Jamie, but hey, Jamie, get the number on the screen.
We need an intern.
I do need an intern. But nevertheless, and also if it's time for your annual inspection, or if you're in the hail zones, and this is what I'll tell you about all the hail out there. If you've had hail, you've been door knocked, you've been solicited, you've been robocalled, you're going to get mailers. I don't know what your pile is on your desk right now. Get a second opinion. Because don't file a claim if you don't have to. Make everybody who comes out prove it to you. And prove it to you to the best ability where you feel comfortable. And by the way, you've got a year to file. You've got 365 days to file this claim based on May 8th if you were in the affected area. So there's no rush. Don't ever let anybody say, we got to do this now. Now, is it good to do it if you've got a leak and you're having major issues and shingles are in the yard? 100%. But not all that's that. Most of you don't even know you have hail damage. You usually can't see it from the ground on your roof. You can see it against your gutters, soft metals, if you know what you're looking for. But nevertheless, call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751. 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com for all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, and now commercial maintenance and repairs. And Mr. Watts and Mr. Cowan and all them that's calling me on their commercial roofs, yeah, we're getting them something. They're getting some repairs done. One of them needs a roof, and he wants a price on that as well, and he knows it. So that's a good thing. He's ahead of the curve. He won't do something proactive. We got another client that their EPDM roof's in good shape. It needs a big, giant, huge tune-up, but they want to go ahead and just cover it on over. And get it ready for the next 20 years. They've got clients in these big areas, and they don't want them. Yep. They don't want it leaking on them. They don't want any problems. They like the rent they're getting. Yeah. Right. So call RTM Roofing 500-0751 500-0751. But now back to Brandon, since we just went through all of that. We were leaving last time, still talking about inspections, and we started with all the caulking. So let me come back to it. Okay. Let me come back to the caulking. I give a 3-year warranty on my caulk to start with, labor warranty, right? That used to be 5, but that's because people are supposed to call me each year. And usually nothing major is going to happen that first year, even second year or third year. But by the third year, you need to start looking at your caulk regardless. I always say year 1.
Why do you let them call you? Why do you not pre-schedule?
Because, does the AC company pre-schedule with them? No. They call the AC company twice a year to schedule their stuff. It's not my job to follow up. I always put it this way. It's not that I don't want to, but the reason you're in the situation you were that got me out there to start with is because you weren't doing your job as a homeowner. You're doing it on everything else. I'm just trying to edge. It's that force love, or whatever. I don't know what the words is. It's like, I don't want to be a hard, you know what, but my point is, you're an adult. You have a $500,000 or $1 million home. Right. I shouldn't have to call you. Right. Now, if you start saying, let's start pre-booking this, then I will, because you're involved. You're
How do I know to ask for pre-booking?
Just now. Just now. I will. But no, I tell people that if you've had me out, my guy should be doing the same thing. We can go ahead and schedule this for next fall. I always tell you once a year, unless you see a storm. Like this May 8th storm is a reason to call me, even though you had inspection last week. If you're in that area, you need to call us right back.
But if you're pre-booking inspections after, let's say, a repair or your initial inspection, then based on hail damage and all that kind of stuff, you don't even have to worry about it, because if you're doing a yearly inspection that you pre-book, you catch it within the time frame, even if it's the next.
You see the screen over here. The worst thing that I hate is when I go out to a house and they're a week over the last hail date from a year ago or 2 years ago, and it's beat to death, and it's a I call those no-brainers. If it doesn't mean it's always 100%, but my point is, it's a no-brainer. It's like, I'm not touching this roof if I lived here, and I'd be filing no matter what. Right. No matter what they did. This is that bad. bad, right?
Right.
But I'll look back and like, you're a week, you're a month, that was 2 years ago.
So it's a retail job.
You're going to have to wait. Well, if you don't have money to buy the roof now, which
you're gonna have to wait till the next
99%
storm.
don't wait. There's people, but when will that be?
Yeah.
And what damage is happening to your roof right now? And how can you repair
How
hail
does
damage?
hail damage your roof?
It knocks multiple things. It bruises the matting or breaks the back of the matting, which is huge Texas hail.
Okay.
Yeah, which is used, and that of course causes water entry. But what really happens in our market is the hail, the 1 inch, inch and a half we've seen right here is causing damage on 2 or 3 year old roofs. If it comes at a certain speed, inch and a half will damage anything just about, except a class 4. And we'll get into that one other day. That's just another level of it's impact resistant.
Sure.
But it hits it, impacts it, knocks granules off, exposes now your asphalt. The sun over the next couple of years will turn it gray, crack it like it does your road out in front of your house. Then you get cracks. Now all it takes, and when you can see, let me rewind. All it takes is a nanometer to let water in. Right. Their molecules, a nanometer, boom.
Right.
Well, put a mask on it. But anyways, it wouldn't work either. But my point is that it starts deteriorating that asphalt. When you see the matting, you now can have water entry. Now, is that hail hit over the other shingle it's over on top of? So really it's just going out the rain channels? Maybe. Right. Is it over where two shingles hit under there? There is a gap that can get into your roof. Right. Is it there? That's, in my opinion, there's other legalities.
So the hail damage sounds like a long, drawn out process. Like it takes longer for the damage to happen to your house.
Initially, yeah.
Then why is that? Why would insurance companies be so keen to replace your roof over hail damage when it is such a not an instantaneous
Because it's not in the state it was when you purchased your contract with them. It stated
so it's
in this
strictly.
Well, put it this way: why are they totaling your car with just dents in it from hail?
Oh, that's interesting.
There ain't nothing wrong with the car other than aesthetics.
Huh.
It's not going to do anything to it. Yeah, technically it might rust out a panel, but aluminum doesn't rust, so nothing's steel anymore. Right. So we're about to be, but steel's coming back. Yep. And we're going to come back next week, too, or the week after, because it's going to be one of them. But Brandon's going to come on a couple times here once a month or whatever, and we're going to do some talking like this to break it all out and help educate everybody out there on things that we know. Yep. I hope you enjoyed the week. Thanks, Brandon, for coming in.
Thank you. Appreciate
really
you
buddy.
Me.
Yes, sir. And you come back next week. It might be him, me, somebody else. Who knows? But you're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7. See you next week. Welcome to RTM Roofing Commercial Division. Not only do we do replacements, we also do commercial repairs. Budgeting for you. And when times like this happen and you need to stop the water, you can't just change a panel. You roll over it. With RTM and Everest Roofing Systems. Their products are beyond any that I've ever worked with. And at RTM Roofing, we only use the best. And it doesn't cost as much as the rest. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751. Thanks for watching Renovation Nation. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share button.